Hello, welcome back. So today I want to talk with you about some sleeping advice in the field of Ayurveda. As I already told you in my last post, I have been suffering from quite heavy sleep disorder and a lot of issues in my sleep patterns and in my falling asleep patterns since I'm a very young child. And so I think that part of my big interest in sleep and the dream world, and also Yoga Nidra, which is this amazing tool when it comes to sleep and relaxation, and also my interest in meditation and ways to really help ourselves to calm down and dive into deep relaxation comes from there, because I needed to find ways how to help me. As sleep is such an essential part, and sadly we spent 7 years trying to fall asleep, and that's really a waste of time, because sleep is not a waste of time. It's actually more important than we many times admit, and I feel we don't give it enough focus or don't have enough ways how to improve our sleep. And so I want to hopefully help you a little bit, and today we talk about Ayurveda and next time about some other advice, because there's many different tools. So in Ayurveda, as you know, probably many of you, and there is 3 doshas, which is Vata, air and ether, Pitta, which is the fire element, fire and water, and then Kapha, earth and water. And just as all of us have one dosha prominent, because we usually have a mix of we all have a mix of the 3 doshas, right? But we usually have one prominent one and then one second prominent one. And just as we do have these different doshas, also the day is segmented into different dosha energies that are prominent on the certain hour of the day. And when we look at the period of sleep, we can see that in the evening from 6 to 10 p.m. the Kapha dosha is prominent. And that means that it explains a lot why we feel usually tired, especially after food, and then also as close as it gets to like 9 or 10, we feel the energy going down, and also with the decrease of light usually now, it's just natural that we live with the sun. That's ideal in Ayurveda, to live with the sun, and we can use this energy to actually get tired enough to fall asleep easily before 10 p.m. So it is very recommended to go to bed before 10 p.m. I know that it's almost impossible and super difficult for many of us, including myself, but this is the idea. And after 10 p.m., Pitta is in charge for the next 4 hours until 2 a.m. And that means that it's a lot harder to fall asleep after 10 p.m. because we have this fire energy that gets us very active. Now, Pitta is very active people who get a lot of shit done. And if we are in this mood, like if we stay up later, then we get awake again, and suddenly we have a lot of things we want to do and we have the energy for it. So then it's hard to fall asleep. And from 2 to 6 a.m. it's Vata energy. So Vata is also an energy that is more awake, because it's the energy of movement, the dosha of movement and air, and also mental activity and insights and ideas and visions and creativity. So the archetype of the artist, the airy artist. So in this time we usually have a more light sleep, and if we only fall asleep at this time, so after 2 a.m., it's also difficult, because we might have a lot of ideas going on and mind loops and thought patterns, and that can distract us from falling asleep, or probably will, no? So that's why it's also recommended to wake up before 6 a.m. in Ayurveda. Maybe you've heard this in like some yogic teachings, like get up before sunrise even, because we are in Vata. So this awakened, airy, active energy of movement, of course, makes it easier to get up. After 6 a.m., however, Kapha is in charge again. So then it's harder again to wake up, because Kapha is the heavy energy that makes us more sleepy and more relaxed again. No? Kapha is slower and more centered in itself and more connected to the natural balance and energy of rest and relaxation of the body and the mind and the spirit, I would say. And it's interesting because while I talk about kapha, I feel that I become slower. It's very interesting. And so all these doshas are beautiful and we need them all, right? But of course they influence our ability to fall asleep and also sleep peacefully through the night. Because if we wake up a lot between 2 and 6 in the Vata time, then it's harder again to fall asleep. Maybe some of you have experienced this, that they wake up a lot during this time and then actually stay awake. Or you might think that you wake up because you have to go to the toilet to pee in the Vata time, but it's actually the opposite. You have a light sleep and then you wake up and then your body also realizes, oh, there is a bladder I could empty. Let's do that. Yeah, so because usually at some point we have to go to the toilet, but if we sleep deep enough, we don't wake up from it. So that's also, I think, important to say. And the reason why we struggle with deep sleep is usually an overload and over amount of Vata energy, which is the movement, no, and the mental activity. And that comes logically from all the stress we have in the modern world, from all the rushing, all the running, all the racing, all the impulses also, because all the sensations and all the media, computer and phones and billboards and advertisements and television, this is all Vata energy. And of course discussing things and having like a certain speed in the things we do, this is Vata. And if we have too much of this, it is very hard to have a deep rest. And now also with the times of maybe some mental issues and difficulties, we also get into these toxic thought patterns or loops or anxiety. Anxiety is also very much linked to Vata. And how can we decrease Vata, which is our goal if we want peaceful nights, yeah? So the important thing is to really not eat so much in the evening. And the main dish in Ayurveda should be at lunchtime. And then it's also really recommended to have a heavy meal. So if you just have a sandwich or an apple, this is not recommended because then you're very hungry in the evening and then you will eat a lot, and that will actually make it hard for the body to fall asleep and then also to sleep calmly. Because if in the time between 2 and 6, which is Vata time, your last meal hasn't been digested yet, your body will digest it in this time. And it's Vata, so it's not Pitta. Pitta is the digestive energy, which helps us to digest the food. And the fire, with the Agni, the digestion fire. And in the Vata time, we don't have that prominence. So it takes more energy for the body to digest it, and the energy that usually the body needs for regenerating our cells and really rejuvenating us throughout the night has to go to the digestive system. And that's why you will have a lighter sleep for sure. And in the lunchtime we have a lot of Pitta, so we can actually digest also more heavy food and really wholesome food with fats and proteins. In the evenings it's not so recommended to eat a lot of proteins, a lot of carbs, a lot of fats or oils. A soup is good, or a stew, because in general they say in Ayurveda if the food, the different ingredients already met in the pot, that's more easily to digest for our bodies than if you have certain different separate food to digest. So that's important, to not eat also, to really eat nothing a few hours before you go to sleep. Very important. Maybe we talk a bit about the different dosha types in terms of sleep. What do they need? So Vata people, because they are already very active and need a lot of energy and burn a lot of energy, because also they think a lot and fast and act very fast. They really need a lot of sleep to come down and to also cleanse themselves from all these impulses, no? And senses and senses, whatever, sorry. So it's really recommended for Vata people to sleep at least 8 hours. When they have had a lot of stress, even more than 8 hours, and they will feel the difference. So you can really try that out and allow yourself to have this amount of sleep. Pitta people, although they really like to have less sleep because they want to get on to the next project and not waste time, they also should have around 8 hours of sleep. They also have a lot of fire, and then some water and some relaxation and some yin energy to be invited into their lives is not the worst idea. So, dear Pittas, although it's hard for you, also try to have enough sleep. And then Kapha people, they can also have less sleep because they are already, as I already said, a bit more relaxed and shanti. So they don't need 8 hours of sleep. 7 is okay, or a bit more. That's less is also not ideal, but they usually have also a better sleep. Yeah, that's also important to say, because when they sleep good. They have not so many vivid dreams usually. They are not so easy to be woken up. Vata people have in general a more light sleep and have very vivid dreams, yeah, and wake up a lot during the night. And for Pitta it's similar sometimes. So that also plays an important role. Yeah. So I hope I could give you some insights into this. For me, very fascinating topic, because Ayurveda helps with so many things, and also with our sleep patterns and the clocks of our day, the schedules of our day, you know, because we have different energies, and the more we tune in, listen to our bodies, the more we feel, now I have energy to write, now I need more rest, now I have energy to do sports, for example. And there are so many things that play an important role for falling asleep gently, like the aesthetics of your room. Also here aesthetic matters, the temperature, your mindset, many things. And I will share more about that in the coming days. And also I will share more about the importance or the gift of Yoga Nidra, what it can do to really help us improve in our sleep, because that really works. And because I love it so much and I'm so convinced of it, I want to give to you today a free gift, which is a mini Yoga Nidra / falling asleep meditation that you can put on when you want to fall asleep. And also you will get a written manual, step-by-step manual, where you can follow the steps to dive into this meditation and then into the sleep and the peaceful night. So if you want to have this free gift, you just can register. You find the link in my link tree, and then you will get the meditation and the manual sent to you via email. So lots of love, and I wish you a very good sleep, and talk to you soon. Blessings.